Welcome to Game of Roses. I'm Chad Colchin, aka Bachelor Clues. I was just alerted that Devin Strader put out a video. Now, if you haven't been following this, I'm sure you have been if you're watching this channel, but obviously Devin Strader was the biggest villain of the season, the biggest villain we've seen in the show for some time, after he dumped Jenn Tran, our Bachelorette, the first Asian Bachelorette from Bachelorette Season 21, recently concluded, and supposedly he did it in a 15-minute phone call. Everyone in the nation hates him. He tried to put out some receipts last week, I believe it was last week, essentially showing some text messages that kind of made it seem like maybe the breakup was Jen's idea, but then he promptly deleted those texts, and now he has put out an Instagram reel. I have not seen this. We're going to watch it right now together and see what Devin has to say for himself. I'm very curious. Here we go.
Hey y'all, I know there are plenty of people upset with me right now, but I wanted to come on here and hopefully try to give a little more context to the situation due to the things being said about me. All I'm looking to do here is tell my side, take accountability, and apologize for some of the things that I wasn't able to say at AFR. Disclaimer again, this is my truth, and by no means am I looking to denounce Jenn in any way. By no means am I looking to come at her in any way or say anything negative about her. All I'm trying to do here is show that this was a two-way relationship.
Okay, so he's saying he's going to apologize, but he's basically saying this was her decision too a little bit. He's trying to shift some of the blame from himself. I can only imagine his DMs right now are just lit up with death threats and all kinds of hateful messages. I always say this on the show. Game of Roses does not support anybody sending negative messages to any of these players or anyone generally. So if you do feel some kind of negative emotions towards Devin Strader, try to remember, you don't actually know this guy. He was just a character in a TV show, and there's no reason to send bad messages to him. But from what this is starting out like, it doesn't seem good. We'll see what happens.
And I think we could both be held accountable. I am no way sitting here trying to
both be held accountable. Doesn't seem good.
Say I was perfect throughout that relationship, but I am looking to clear up a few rumors and the false narrative that's being said about me. To start, I want to briefly show a few texts between Jenn and I directly after leaving the show.
This is not a good idea. Even if these texts completely exonerate him, no one's mind is going to change about Devin Strader at this point. We really have only seen Blake Horseman be able to do this after his season of Bachelor in Paradise, where he was kind of caught in this love triangle between, I believe it was Kaylin Miller Key, or quadrangle, really. It was Kaylin Miller Keys, Christina Schulman, and there was one other person in it that I can't now remember. But he basically came out and showed receipts basically saying, like, look, we were all kind of in on what went down at what I believe was then Coachella. Maybe it was Stagecoach. I can't remember. Some music festival. Supposedly he had sex with all three of these women, or two of them. I don't remember the exact specifics. But he did use receipts almost immediately after the allegations. This, to me, the timing is off. If he was going to do something like this, it should have been the night of. This is a week now. People have already made their opinions. I don't know how much good this is going to do him.
As well as a few texts leading up to right before AFR. I think that'll show a little bit of perspective from my side as well as from a relationship standpoint.
The only reason that I'm showing these texts in the...
Okay, wait a minute. How can I rewind this? So these texts say, I didn't lie about the likely outcome of our relationship. I don't want this argument. I don't want you to cling on to one small thing. You're trying to pressure me into making things work when I just wish you'd listen to how I feel. I'm not having this argument with you. We were on good terms. Friend, not once did I say anything about agreeing to get back together. I asked to meet up so we could have a conversation in person before AFR so I could feel good about this. I was never under the impression we weren't on good terms, Jenn. I'm all for that. This is just basically, I guess, trying to make him seem like he was a good guy in this. And then she says, and you ghosting me all weekend isn't exactly very nice after you got off the phone with me Thursday and said, you know what I do want to see you. I don't know if this does anything to help him.
First place is to give a little bit more context.
I'm not having this argument with you. This was in that thing. So now he's clipping out single texts from that big chunk that he just sent.
Text into why I reacted the way I did when stepping onto the stage at AFR. Again, a week prior, as you can see here, August 27th, I was told that we were on good terms and we were friends. The next screenshot.
Haven't meant to be dodgy. Been a stressful couple of days for me. Give me a call when you're free. No rush. And she says, I know you don't have your phone, but I truly am sorry for the way things played out. I'm not perfect. I wish We could have worked through things together. I'm sorry I couldn't be someone you were proud to be with. Oof. Regardless of what's shown on an edit, what the world says, or the events that have transpired since, I hope one day, when the noise dies down, you see that the love between us was real. Those moments were shared, just us two. I'll never forget, no matter what happens.
That you see here is 3 hours prior to AFR, where she basically sums up that even though things...
Yeah, those moments we shared, just as I'll never forget, no matter what happens tonight, I'll always be rooting for you. So she does say that to him. Again, I don't know that this is like helping his case. I think everyone's mind is made up.
Things weren't perfect between our relationship. She'll always cherish the love between us. And no matter what happens, she'll always be rooting for me. She specifically says, no matter how things play out on TV. Another big thing that I wanted to address was that I broke up with Jenn over a 15-minute phone.
Okay, so here's the 15-minute phone call thing, I guess. I just got home. It was hell getting out of my house. That was the episode for you. Lol, why? It was good. I was at my old bar I used to work at. All of my friends were there, and they were all... I can't see what this says.
Phone call.
They all wanted pictures and stuff. It was just...
on the day that we broke...
Worst. Told you hate the pushy shit. I'm not seeing that these texts really do anything to change his situation. It seems like they're like maybe a little more amicable than they were, at least on camera. But it's also like, it's a TV show. And that's the first time she's seeing him. The stress of that situation.
Broke up. I wasn't acting weird. I really wanted to get to that happy couple and have that conversation with her in person. The rest of this really just shows that...
Well, let's let us look at it for ourselves, what it really shows, Devin. Did you want to call or no? Lol, do you even want to come tomorrow? Can we talk about it when I get there? It's late and I feel like we've both had a day today. Well, if you don't want to come, don't. I don't really appreciate you sending an ominous text and then going to bed. Honestly, that's pretty selfish of you to not even care how that would make me feel. Can we talk today? He says. So this must have been what was initiating that breakup phone call.
The morning of our breakup and subsequently the fallout that happened.
What else did you want to talk about? I don't know, Jen. I let you down. I let myself down, and I'm hoping you can forgive me one day. And then she has this long string here. I'm just extremely confused how you've been feeling. This is wild that he's airing all this stuff. Like, did he talk to her about this? I can only assume not. I can only assume she'd be like, maybe she wouldn't even care if he put it out. But I can't imagine that he had a conversation with her saying like, hey, I'm going to dump our whole text thread the day we broke up. I'm just extremely confused how you've been feeling this way for 2 months, but can say all the things you've said to me. God damn it. Completely blindsided me with all this after telling me you wanted to work on things and I made a decision without even thinking anything through. Then he's got this whole thing. It's almost like they're breaking up over text here, or he's breaking up with her over text, I should say. So every time we've been in a happy couple, you haven't been happy. Like, he's releasing too much of this for it to be valuable to him. He should have, in my opinion, if he really wanted to do this, cherry pick some things that would have helped him. But to me, what is like coming through kind of loud and clear is the overarching idea that I don't believe she was okay with him sending or putting these text messages out. So it makes him look even worse. I don't know. I think this is a big parasocial error here to be doing this.
Afterwards, as you can see, there are multiple different occasions where I do say that I...
So every time we've been a happy couple, you haven't been happy. And every time you said that you love me, you didn't mean it. Of course I meant it. How could you say that? You can love people and they not work out. So unfair. So they're kind of just arguing about, you said you've been feeling this way for 2 months. I don't think this is helping his case. Even the specifics of the receipts here, I think, are against, what his, I can only assume his stated goal or sworn goal with this is to like exonerate himself to some degree. I don't think that's happening here.
I really want to meet up in person to say this. She basically forces this out of me. She says that I call her, which was not the case. At which point I did feel the need that I owed her that conversation.
What, and like how he's showing the text messages is bad. The construction of this video is bad. It's he could have done that better. It's just a long mess of him basically saying like, I wanted to tell you this in person and I'm so sorry and I did love you, but I don't anymore. This is all basically the same stuff, at least from what I'm reading. It's kind of the same stuff we saw on stage.
I did try to meet up.
Why did you want to talk to me in person today in the first place?
With her.
I wanted to tell you all this in person because you deserved more than a phone call.
I did try to go to the happy couple, and she did not let me, as saying that she didn't deserve to go.
Yeah, no shit. Why would she want him to come to a happy couple if he's basically already dumped her on text? Obviously.
If it was just going to be a breakup. So I didn't really know what else to do. She kind of forced my hand.
This is only going to be a glimpse. This isn't going to be every single text that Jen and I have ever sent to each other, every single conversation that.
And so now he's just putting virtually their entire text thread in this fucking video. Now, I'm not going to sit through big sleep and cuddles later, BB. What time do you get in? 10-ish, landed. Yay. Like, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. Somebody on Reddit probably will, so be looking for that thread. I'll probably read that thread, actually. But this is fucking wild. He's literally just scrolling through their entire text relationship now.
That her and I have
Look at
had.
this.
But I think it's important to highlight the highs and the lows of our inner workings of what went on in between our relationship and while we were together.
This is
there's a lot of
fucking
false
crazy.
narratives being pushed.
I mean, at least it looks like he has bricked out some of the images and stuff that they had in there. So he spent some time on this. He went through. I mean, he spent some time on this. That's all there is to say. He's scrolling through their entire text history, but he's redacting it to some degree. At least, look, you can see here, a dime. I can't sleepy. Ha ha ha. Why? I'm guessing that little blacked out box there is probably something sexual. Lol. Oh, drink water, BB. Flush it out. I don't know what that is. Is she drunk? Is that? I have no idea what this is. But he has blacked out some parts of this that he doesn't want us to see. However, he is showing almost their entire text message relationship here. This is like, I don't know that we've seen a receipt posted quite like this. This is extensive.
About that right now, and there's a lot
Look at this. Look at some of these redacted things. So what is that? They had a video call or something, and he redacted this. Don't worry too much about, blacked out. Somebody out there has got to be able to find out what he's redacting in this. I know there's technology that can do it. And like I said, I think Reddit will have that available for us soon. This is absolutely insane.
false statements being given out. So I'm really.
This is absolutely insane. Hey, baby, can't wait to be home tonight. Can we FaceTime tonight? Hi, baby. Good morning. I'm sorry I passed out of bed early last night. Had to be up super early finishing up packing now. Morning, baby. No worries.
Really here to set the record
Just sending pictures, videos.
straight. And
What's that? No, I'm sleeping. I just got a text from just giant redacted, just finished redacted. So he went through their entire text relationship, redacting a lot of stuff. I mean, he was planning this for a minute. This probably took a couple of days of work to put this together.
And hopefully I can do that by providing a little bit of clarity into the day-to-day lives that Jen and I experienced while we were together. The highs, the lows.
Look at these bricks of text. No, because what it sounds like is I'm going to have to keep dealing with you disappearing for 17 hours a day every couple of weeks. Don't you dare say I don't care about your family or your friends, because when you told me about the family trip, I was 100% on board that you should skip our time together to go be with them. I am so incredibly cognizant of the fact that your last girlfriend never allowed you to feel that and would never take that away. I would never take that away from you. I specifically don't want to start a conversation while you were on vacation because I wanted you to have your own time and enjoy it. This is insane. I value both our independence. I mean, this is like every text message they've ever shared. I know he said it wasn't, but Jesus Christ. What I want is to feel loved and prioritized and cared for. Yes, you were great 2 days ago after we had a conversation about how I felt, and it didn't even last 24 hours. You can say you feel all these things, but it's not backed up by I mean, if anything, as I said at the beginning of this is just making him look way worse, in my opinion. He's compounding the error.
Lows, the good, the bad. But really the effort and the love that I had for this woman, because I know that's getting confused by a lot of people.
I mean, this is a novel. I feel like somebody could really go through this frame by frame, print all this stuff out, make a nice little coffee table book of it.
Based off of Jen
That's what he should have done. He should have released this as a coffee table book, let's be honest.
saying that I pulled away immediately after Hawaii. But I
You keep saying we talk every day. We do. I mean, that's clear. I think I have to side with Devin here. This is a lot of text. If they're skipping days, it's a lot of text. A text good morning is not a conversation. A meme sent in an Instagram is not a conversation. On Sunday, I texted you a multitude of things on the flight over to New York, to which you ignored and responded with, quote, so sorry, I'm so tired and hungover and just woke up, and completely never answered me. And then we never talked on the phone that day. Meanwhile, I had so much anxiety about doing a dumb live show the next morning. What I want to do is feel like my partner cares about my schedule. I'm just pausing randomly as he's scrolling through these thousands of texts. They all seem bad to him, you know? I just don't think this is going to help his case.
Actually only ever pulled away and started becoming distant post-breakup.
And then it just looks like he stopped redacting stuff. Oopsies, got in trouble for posting you. I misread one of their texts. Oops, I have to take Troy to the vet tomorrow. Wait, why is she okay? Ha ha ha. Had a feeling you might have. Yeah, she's okay. So this is just something about the pet.
And not just right after.
It's okay. 2:30 isn't a bad time.
After our breakup.
This is insane. The HCs are going to be much more smooth. That's what. So this must have been like when they were still doing happy couples and they hadn't gotten to the point where he was going to break up.
We're talking about almost the end of the month breakup.
This is absolutely insane. Look at these big redacted photos, big chunks of redacted text. This is beyond insane. I mean, this video needs to be studied. I'm talking to you, Reddit. This video needs to be studied and every inch of it scrutinized. I don't know who has the time for this, Reddit, but someone will, and we will get to the bottom of this. I think we will get all the details out of this. Somebody's going to go through it all and pull out the highlights, I think, and that post, hopefully on Reddit, I mean, hopefully it's already up. I don't know.
Trying to move on.
When did he posted this? When? Not that long ago, was it? Was it today sometime? He posted it 2 hours. No. That's Claire and Emma's. Did you ask Jen before releasing all these texts? They got it. They exactly got it. God, they're good.
Well, with my life, as hard as that is to say, I needed that for my own happiness. Again, a relationship is two people.
And he's got multiple like narrations over this. So he's recording and re-recording and potentially even scripting some of what he's saying here.
Two people are involved. And this wasn't August 6th.
He's redacting a bunch. The bottom line is we aren't meant for each other, and as hurtful as that is, I've purveyed that to you as openly as I can, all right? I have no blame, blah, blah, blah. So this is his kind of maybe post-breakup with all these redactions.
When I did that. This was closer to the end of the month, and I only did that because it felt like I was leading her on. I felt guilty because in her mind it felt like she was holding on to something that wasn't there for me, and I had been honest with her in person about where my heart stood at the last happy couple at the end of July, where we met up in person, talked all night about this.
I wanted to also
And then, he's back.
address Jen's false claims that I was immediately pulling away from the relationship as soon as we left Hawaii. I'm going to be showing you guys, disclaimer, I'm going to be showing you guys the phone calls from the day after our breakup, August 5th, and every phone call thereafterwards leading up to AFR. Our last phone conversation was actually just under 2 weeks prior to stepping out on that stage on the 3rd of September.
These are the missed calls from Jen the night that we broke up that coincide with the text from the earlier portion of this video. Afterwards, we did have multiple different conversations regarding the breakup, as you see. At no point did I ever leave her in the dark, and I was very open and honest about everything that I stood for, and especially where my heart was in that time and place. I just am very confused by how the narrative can be pushed that I was absent from this relationship even when I was present, as you can see here, for so much, even post-breakup.
Now that you guys have seen a lot more context between the
This is meaningless. He's just digging the hole deeper for himself, in my opinion.
moments from post-Hawaii and the moments leading up to AFR, I hope that can help debunk a lot of these claims that I wasn't present during the relationship. I really find that to be kind of offensive and really a demeanor on my character, especially when I tried so hard for Jen in this relationship. With all that in mind, I really just want to get into how I was feeling post-breakup and the moments leading up to AFR. I know there's been a lot of questions asked to me regarding, the situation that happened on stage. A lot of people have been asking what happened. Why didn't you say anything up there? Can you elaborate on any of the things you did say? First off, walking out on that stage, I had no
How long is this fucking video?
idea what was being said prior to that actual moment. I had no idea what any of the conversation had been prior leading up to that point. And again, I was unaware and I had no idea what was going on. As I've said, everything that I've shown and everything that you've seen
has led me to believe that Jenn and I are on good terms, and everything that we've spoken about.
Okay, so again, he already showed us that and made a point of it. And now he's doing it again. Just wrapping up here.
Post breakup has led me to believe that we were on good terms. So again, I had no reason to believe otherwise. So yes, frankly, I was stunned, and frankly, I was shocked and had no words at the way that our relationship was being depicted on TV. It was absolutely asinine, and it was really, really disheartening to hear the way Jenn described it, because that wasn't true. We both knew that that wasn't true. But I didn't want to fight with her. That wasn't my intention. I never intended to go up there and bicker. I felt that was what she needed in the moment, and that was that. And honestly, it all boils...
He's still going. This is fucking insane. Dude, we get it.
Goes back down to the fact that I didn't feel like I would ever have to sit here and defend myself over facts that aren't true about not only myself, but our relationship as well. Because once again, just 1 week prior to AFR, I got a text from Jenn saying that...
That's the same thing he just showed. This is one of the wildest parasocial plays we have ever seen, I think, in the history of The Bachelor.
We are friends on good terms, and at no point did she want to get back together in the relationship. And just 3 hours leading up to AFR at 1:30, I got another text from Jenn that
he's already shown us this.
Sums up in specific terms that no matter how this plays out, she's always going to cherish the moments that we spent together, the love that we had, and she'll always be rooting for me. And I'm not sitting here trying to put blame or fault on any one person. Again, a relationship is two people, and it is incredibly difficult to navigate those emotions post-show. We both had missteps, we both had flaws, we both had mistakes along the way. But the love that Jenn and I had, and the love that especially that I had for Jenn, is not something that I'm attempting to lie about. It's not something I can fake. Every single day was an uphill battle. And
is he wearing a different shirt now?
As a man, I'm trying to support and love the best way that I can, but at the end of the day, I also have those feelings of anxiety too. I'm also allowed to feel certain things. I'm also allowed to have certain opinions on situations, you know, and I feel like no matter what I was doing in a lot of these situations, no matter how hard I was trying, it wasn't good enough. No matter how much effort I would put in, it continued to take an emotional toll on me. And at that point, I really did have to make just the decision based on my own happiness. Because again, at the end of the day, what's best for me is what's best for me. And I'm not letting anyone hold those feelings to standard, because they are only pertaining to me. And that is the most important thing, is my happiness in my life. As much as I care for Jenn, as much as I love Jenn, I really did feel like there was no other choice. And that's hard to hear, you know, and I get where she's coming from. I totally do. But yeah, I'm not going to let her...
It's enough. He can end it now.
Paint this picture that isn't true about what went on in our relationship, especially regarding the couples counseling. I know that was a huge issue for her. So there's been a lot of chattering from Jenn, alleging that I didn't go to couples counseling, or I refused to go to couples counseling. I want to go ahead and clear the air on that. I never refused.
He's got more points to make.
To go to couples counseling. I actually scheduled multiple appointments with her, and we went to a couple sessions together. On top of that, Jenn and I were also doing individual counseling with our respective therapists from the show at the time. The reason I stopped going to couples counseling is due to the fact that Jenn fired our original therapist without consulting me about it. I only had to find out through an email from our therapist saying that she's sorry things couldn't work out.
It's too much. Like, I'm going to sleep. I'm getting beat over the head with just like, he showed us a million text messages. Now it's like about, I was present. Look, here's all these phone calls that we had immediately after the breakup. Look at all these texts. Here's the whole history of the relationship. Also, that thing she said about not doing couples therapy, we did do it, and then I didn't, and someone fired someone. And
I confronted Jenn about this, and she never even gave me an explanation. All she could say was that she didn't like her and that she wasn't experienced enough. I thought that completely invalidated my opinion as a partner. Again, this is something that she...
But like, if either partner in the relationship doesn't like the couples therapist you're going to, you got to get a new one.
She really, really vouched for couples therapy. She really, really advocated for it, and I was all for it, for her, because that's, you know, again, something that I do for people that...
Great. Then why would he care if she wanted to get a different therapist?
I care about. And again, she didn't tell me that she got rid of the therapist, and that's what really struck me in the wrong way, because again, it felt like no matter what I was saying, what I was doing, my opinions on the matter, they were being completely tossed to the side. I don't think that's just prevalent in this situation, but it's prevalent in a lot of the arguments that we got in as well, and a lot of the texts that we shared, which you can also go back and read.
So yeah, it wasn't me refusing.
Which you can go back and read. No, dude, we can't. There were too many and they were scrolling by the screen too fast. We would have to go and pause every half second, copy all that shit, put it in a Word document to really discern any meaning from it.
Refusing to go to couples therapy. It wasn't me refusing to do couples counseling with Jenn. It was strictly due to the fact that she fired our original therapist for no apparent reason, and she didn't consult me about it prior. Again, I felt like that really devalued what we had as a partnership, really devalued my opinion in the say of the matter, and yeah, that was the end of our couples counseling, but I continued to go see my individual therapist all the way through August. That is confirmed. Next, I want to address the Maria situation.
Next? What is going on here?
I am taking full accountability for that. I did follow her, I think, the week of August 14th. I followed a bunch of Bachelor Nation accounts, but regardless, it was still an ill-advised decision on my part. I made an emotionally charged decision, and Jenn and I were in a fight at the time, and her and I did speak about that the next day. I did apologize, and she is the only one who needed an apology in that moment. I realized I made a mistake, and I am sorry to her for that. Reflecting back, I do realize that I did make a poor decision, and I shouldn't be playing with people's feelings, especially when it's regarding their emotions. I shouldn't also be following people that I have no relationship with whatsoever.
But Maria, if you are out there and you are watching this, hit me back.
I don't know Maria. I've never met Maria. I've never met up with Maria, and I will never follow Maria. I know I hurt Jenn now.
I will never follow Maria. He already did.
And I'm not trying to excuse my behavior. I'm just here to apologize for that. So I am sorry.
So crazy.
In regards to this whole clubbing with Jeremy thing.
Oh my God. He's addressing every allegation. In regards to the accusations that I might or might not have looked at my classmates' math test in 7th grade and copied some of his answers.
As I said before, I was in New York City on business to meet up with a client. Jeremy and I had been in contact post-show to hang out. We had scheduled a meet up while we were there, and that was that. I also have friends in the city that I've known for a long time. Some of them I even went to college.
Show me receipts. If you don't show me the entire text message conversations that you've had with those friends since at least 2014, I don't believe they're real.
With. So I really don't think that's prevalent, but I'm just gonna go ahead and release that information as well. So
relevant.
Again, it wasn't a week after our breakup either. It was a week prior to AFR. I really just want to clear the timeline on that because, again, as I said.
So it was like 2 weeks after the breakup or 3. this, I don't even know what to make of this. It's one of the most aggressive errors, parasocial errors that I have seen ever in the history of the sport. It does nothing to help his cause of trying to exonerate him from any of these accusations or to try and get people to get on his side. I don't think anyone's going to watch this and be like, okay, now I get it. Did you see all those text messages? There were at least 1,000. That means he was present.
On stage, I felt like everything was kind of being condensed down to a certain point.
He should just come out and own it and be like, I played a game better than any of these other guys. I won the game. You can be mad at me all you want, but that's what that show is. It's a game, and I proved it by literally playing it and winning the ring. And then if he wanted to, he could say, every season you've ever watched is that. Because the truth is, it is. Even the ring winners, even somebody like Kelsey Anderson, who I believe is actually really in love with Joey Graziadei, and Joey Graziadei really actually in love with her. I think that is a relationship that will last. It will stand the test of time. She not only had to fall in love with him and have him fall in love with her, she had to navigate a 30-person game of attrition through dating, go on group dates, go on the one-on-one dates, say all the love levels at the right time. She had to play that game perfectly to win that ring. She also had to be emotionally invested and actually fall in love with him, as did he. That's the beauty of this game. You have to play the game and fall in love. There's no other sport like it, really, which is why I love it. Anyway, sorry. That was my own Devin Strader diatribe.
And that's not true. Yeah, being on the show and rewatching the episodes back is something that most people, probably a lot of people, will not and can never understand. I had to clearly watch myself play second to someone else, and that's okay. We moved on from that. I wasn't her first choice. But again, a relationship is two people, and that's part of growing together. I don't fault her for the feelings that she had towards Marcus, but I wasn't informed of that even during our relationship. I was only made aware of that during the decision of me communicating less post breakup, after a breakup, almost a month later. Dude. So that's hard to go through. And at that point in time, I felt like my decisions were reaffirmed.
He's like, listen, I just didn't know what was going on. And then it just cuts to like a blur of text. Like 200,000 messages, as you can see.
In breaking up with her in the first place, I felt like I had made the right choice. So yeah, maybe I was a little bit more calloused leading up to the last couple weeks towards AFR, but it wasn't intentional. It wasn't, something that
I literally didn't even know you could post videos this long on Instagram.
I felt like I was doing out of malice. It was just an important thing that I felt I needed, which was space. And as hard as moving on from a relationship is, that is a part of life. And I was trying to go through those avenues of life for myself and figure those things out for myself. Overall, I'm not trying to play the victim here.
Overall, it's a nice word to use at the end of something, so maybe he's about to conclude.
I really, really don't want that. I'm not having this video made intended for that. I'm just really here to try and explain my feelings and my side of the story because, again, my truth I feel is important in this situation too. The things that were said about our relationship were expressed and incredibly inaccurate, and I just wanted to do my best and felt it was best to speak on the circumstances of the situation. And to Jen, I really, really am sorry for the way things played out. My intentions were to never hurt you, and I'm sorry for that hurt that I've caused.
Okay.
Throughout that relationship, but I am looking to clear up a few rumors and the false narrative that's being said about me. To start, I want to briefly show a few texts between Jen and I.
Wow. So there you have it. How long was this video? I can't see the actual runtime on my computer. Let me see if it shows me on my Instagram thing on my phone. I have no idea. Let's see. To give you the time. That was a 12-minute and 55-second video that this man released, full of thousands of texts, records of phone calls, flights taken, and all of it was designed, as he says, to just tell his side of the story. Unfortunately, I don't think he's the right person to tell his side of the story. I think he should have gotten somebody else to tell it. This is one of the wildest things I've ever seen any player in the history of the game do parasocially. It's more receipts produced in a single post than we have ever seen in the history of the game. He basically, I think, laid out their entire text message relationship. Like I said, I would expect Reddit to do a deep dive into every one of those texts coming up within the next day or two. I have no idea if this is going to work out for him. Let's see if we can look at some of these replies here. How does this really change anything? Words and text don't. This is from at John Denny. Sorry. These are people just getting in arguments with each other. Back to Love Doc. All this video accomplishes is make you look defensive about being a good guy. Date card pod. But proceeds to come at her for 12 minutes. 1 minute is for your apology. People are so pissed. The Pardeep weighing in. This was total word vomit. Sam McKinney does this. Is that a middle finger, or is that he's pointing up to what Pardeep said? She's all batch. I understand there are two sides to every story, but the devil we saw on TV wouldn't have shared these intimate texts. I agree. And that's kind of what is so strange about this. He was such a good player in the regular season. Obviously, in the postseason, he drops the ball. He breaks up with her in a shitty fashion, and now he's doing all this stuff too. It's, he probably feels some kind of urgency to get this out because he's experiencing the brunt of the hatred from the fourth audience, from us right now. But this just isn't the way to do it. She's literally allowed to want to switch therapists. Yeah, exactly. I didn't get why he was... Bro, shut up. This is fucking brutal. Hi, I'm going to hold your hand as I say this. So yeah, releasing every text message you guys ever had is insane. Sometimes when things in Bachelor Nation seem the worst, you just get gold. These are gifts. I love being part of Bachelor Nation right now. Did you only show what you wanted? Some of those messages are blocked. Not talking about pics. Yeah, he was redacting it. It was like a CIA report. It was like we have to issue a Freedom of Information Act request to try and get the actual text from Devin at this point. Hey, so this is insane. My reality, a man living in an alternate reality. These are so good. Oh my God. I mean, there's so many of these hilarious replies. I encourage everybody to just go check this out. But Jesus, this is absolutely wild. I mean, this story just keeps on giving. Thank you so much for joining me. How long has this video gone on? This video is 34 minutes because we haven't had to watch a 13-minute exoneration video complete with some receipts, redacted receipts from Devin Strader here. Wow. Thank you for joining me. I'll be covering more developments. I know Jenn just released a big podcast interview today, or the first half of it, on Bachelor Happy Hour. We're going to be covering that in our Digging Deeper episode that's going to come out Monday, as well as a bunch of other clips from around the nation, of course. And maybe I'll even pick out a few of those to cover here on YouTube. But thanks again for joining me, and we'll have more coverage as it develops.